During these 3 long years that I've spent getting myself into this beautiful hobby we call Warhammer 40k, there is truly one man's artwork that has captured my attention the most. That is John Blanche. Blanche is responsible for laying the groundwork for what would later become one of the most iconic old Hammer 40k styles we know and love. John would join Games Workshop in the late 70s, where he would begin his crusade to create some of the most iconic old Hammer artwork we have out there. He illustrated everything from early Space Marines to some of the most iconic portrayals of the Emperor today. Blanche would become well known for his goofy yet distinctive art style, which I would describe as Gothic Punk. His artwork spans from dark and decaying to vibrant and colorful. Some of his most impactful pieces depict battles, one of my absolute favorites being his illustration of the Black Templars engaged in brutal, gritty combat. And if you take a closer look at the image, there's a early Baneblade in the background, as well as some specialized Black Templars with a flamethrower and a plasma gun, I'm pretty sure. And off to the right of the image, you got a couple of Thunderhawk gunships, which is fucking awesome, man. Some of his more popular battle scenes include his depictions of the Blood Angels fighting orcs, one of which would be used as cover art for a 2nd edition starter box, which is pretty interesting. And then you have this one that just looks cool as shit, man. Just look at this fucking thing. It is awesome as fuck. Alongside is just goofy ass looking Dark Angels. Just look at them. And you have this goofy masterpiece that looks like it came straight off of Doom 2's cover art with a really well drawn Cyber Demon. Blanche would also make some of the most iconic pictures of the Emperor seated on the Golden Throne, as well as the throne room itself. And I'm 90% sure that the mural on the doors is the Emperor fighting the Void Dragon itself, which is awesome. Blanche would give us some of the most interesting renditions of the Sons of the Emperor, some of which being the best renditions of the Primarchs, in my opinion. Those being the Primarchs Horus Lupercal. He's got one of the earlier renditions of him that just looks goofy, as well as Corvus Corax. And I think that's a Mark III Iron Helm in Rogel Dorn. They just look so good, man. Also, an honorable mention to his depiction of Fulgrim. It just looks downright goofy. I don't know where he was going with the helmet. I just can't get over the design of it. I just really can't. Blanche would also make some of the most interesting art for the Necrons, in my opinion. Because unlike a lot of modern art for the Necrons, Blanche's art shows them with more bulky and angular upper bodies, which makes them feel like they're heavier. And in a lot of these pieces, you really start to see the big, bulky Necron energy weapons that just look so cool. This one's my favorite because he has a gun that looks like the Mark I Lancer from Gears of War. It's badass. And don't get me wrong, I like how they look now, but I prefer the more bulky renditions of the jaded old robots. And to bring this very short video to an end, let's talk about Blanche's just downright goofy Titans. He's done a few renditions of the beasts that are Titans, one of which just looks goofy as hell. Just look at the thing. As for the rest of them, you can start to see a lot of the designs that you see in a lot of modern Titan art. Which is pretty neat. I do hope you like the video. It's a bit of a weird one, I know. If you want to see a part 2, drop a like.
I lied.
I'm gonna do a quick speed round of a couple art pieces I think are really interesting. So here we go. We have a really interesting version of the Khan. It is honestly one of my favorite versions of him. It's pretty cool. And something I unironically forgot to mention, he did the cover art for White Dwarf's 4th edition, which I should have mentioned, but I'm kind of a moron. And you have a really interesting version of Angron. He almost looks like a Roman centurion, which is super interesting. I don't know why, but it's really interesting. I know this isn't Warhammer 40k, I just really like it. It's cool as hell, and there's not much else to say. It's just cool. And here you have Sanguinius with the most drip I've ever seen a Primarch with. It's kind of a travesty that we lost this design. And with that being said, if you want to see a part 2, drop a like or drop a comment. I had some help from a bunch of goobers who I really appreciate, so go drop them a sub if you can. With that being said, peace out.